Hey guys, John here, Lexus IS500 with that glorious 5.0 liter V8. So hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another video. This one on the beautiful Lexus IS500 F Sport, the last of the naturally aspirated V8s, the last of its kind, a true raw dog vehicle. I like to think of it as the forerunner version of cars. Simplistic, analog, amazing. But guys, this was my press vehicle for the last week and it was very fun, and I'll talk about that in my driving impressions later in the video. But I want to take a quick walk around it. It is in the shade because it is very hot right now, but you guys can see the B-roll of this beautiful blue paint. It is a stunning color, that is for sure. But with this F Sport, guys, we're gonna have a bunch of darker accents on it. The nice triple beam headlights with the signature Lexus LED swoosh. This one has a little bit of upgrades with these black wheels. Weirdly, in my Instagram post, people didn't really care for the black wheels. I don't understand. I guess I do with some vehicles. This one, it looks good because it has a lot of black accents to me. You know, I'm not saying that people are wrong, but this one looks good to me with all the other black accents that it has. I feel like these wheels complement it really well. Now, if they were like just blinged out chrome, that would actually, or polished, I should say, that would look really good on this car too. It would kind of match a little bit on the mirror caps there. But you have some nice dark trim around the windows with this F Sport. And with it being the IS500, our hips and everything are just ever so slightly wider. So I had an IS350 last year in the infrared color, and that car was so much fun. And I told my wife, I was like, just wait, because if you liked that car, you're gonna love this car if I ever get it as a press vehicle. And I did, and you guys can see the bulge right there for that 5.0 liter V8. But aside from that, on the outside, it's just a good looking classic car. I feel like this car is gonna go down as a classic for sure for Lexus. But if we come on into the inside really quick, the color combination of this one, I personally really like. You got the blue and then you got the red interior with a bunch of black accents. Now, someone kind of ruined it for me on Instagram and TikTok or whatever. They said it's a Spider-Man spec, and I cannot unsee that now. So we have really rich blue with red and black, and people call it the Spider-Man spec, but I don't care, man. I think it looks really good, even if it is called the Spider-Man spec. But with the black and the red accents on the inside, I think it looks nice. You kind of have like a brushed aluminum look. Everything is really red, like even down to the speakers and the door cards. We have some nice aluminum pedals there. My only critique about the pedals is the driver's pedal is very nice and stiff and rigid. The brake, a little bit mushy for some reason, but I got used to it after my week of really driving with it. We have all of our dials right here, a 360 camera view, a very cool little shade option, which raises up the shade for the back window. Our telescoping steering wheel, up and down, it is all electronic, and then very, very comfortable seats. You will see that there's no F in it, weirdly, like the RCF or all the other F models, because this is just an F Sport. So it's not like a true F product, I guess, from Lexus, but I mean, regardless, it still drives really good. All of our adjustments right here for the seats, nice little F Sport aluminum logo right here on the door sill. So getting into it, it took an adjustment a little bit because I have a 4Runner, Tacoma, Tundra, and the first couple days getting into this thing, I was like, oh my gosh, like being in a low car again, definitely takes some getting used to, especially if you're used to bigger trucks. And then parking this thing next to my Tundra, I'm like staring up at it because my Tundra's lifted up pretty high, but still, I really enjoyed it. Looking at the steering wheel, you have the nice Lexus logo right here. We're gonna go ahead and start it up though. Oh my God, yes. Oh yes, and I can do that because it is warmed up, but we see all of our gauges start. You have IS500 there. You have a nice screen here. It is touchscreen, which this is a very welcomed update for their infotainment screen. It is not rocking the newest multimedia from Lexus, but it still does have Apple CarPlay, but it is wired, and it wires in down here. We have two USBs right there, so no USB-C in this car. You guys can see an aux jack and a CD player. So I was teasing with my wife. I was like, hey, pass the iPod, you know, like back in the day, person would be in charge of all the aux stuff. You have a CD player in this, very, very old school. Looking at the gauge cluster here, it is kind of like the LFA, but when you turn the dials, it does not move. So that would have been cool if it moved. That is such a classic, beautiful thing for Lexus to have it that moves, but it's still a very nice digital gauge cluster, a good blend of analog looking and also digital. We do have paddles on the back of the steering wheels. Another look again at the infotainment and HVAC controls here. A bunch of physical buttons, which I love, right? And even though that this is touch sensitive, you can rock it really fast. So if you need to go all the way up to 80, all the way down to low, or you can go slowly, right? So if you're wanting to rip through the temperatures, you really can. This car has heated and ventilated seats, also a heated steering wheel, and then a nice physical gear selector, which it looks just like the 4Runner. And then with this screen being a touchscreen, easily reachable, you could still control it down here with this pad, but a lot of people are just gonna use Apple CarPlay, and it's just some simple buttons, and then you have the steering wheel control. So I kind of wish that this would go away, or the CD player. I mean, obviously with a refresh of this car or a new generation of it, there won't be a CD player in it, but there's like no shelf space for a phone. Like, you're gonna have waters right here. You can't put like your phone and just put it in the center console. If all this wasn't here, you would have a nice deep shelf there. And I mean, our center console is decently big, so I just put my phone and wallet in there. But for the most part, there's like really no storage on the inside for anything. You can put it, I guess, in this like little bit of the door card right here, or I mean down here, but that's, you know, typically for water bottles. But I guess that would be really my only gripe on the inside. Aside from that, I mean, the inside was really solid. I'm not sure if it's because this car has like 11,000 miles on it. There were some minor like plastic on plastic rattles just because it's an older looking vehicle. But aside from that though, the overall vehicle itself was just extremely Lexus, extremely made in Japan, and extremely solid. So let's check out the rear seats real quick. All right, going into the back, basically my driving position, I could probably scoot it up just a little bit more, but going in, I have a good amount of space back here, guys. So I like how they carved down the seats like that for my knee, which is really nice. So I know that the back seat of this car is actually pretty decent because when I was in Atlanta, Scott Pruitt, professional race car driver, had 3 or 4, I'm gonna show you guys the video, but we had a bunch of adults in the back of this and we did an autocross course. I'll show you guys that right now because it was freaking awesome.
Let's get there. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Here we go. First.
So that was a great time. Decent amount of room in the back to enjoy with friends if the driver wants to hot rod a little bit responsibly, and just have a bunch of room for passengers. And we do have HVAC controls there and nice little cup holder here. And that goes out kind of trick, and then you have a nice armrest. Beautiful scenery, man, except for those cicadas making a bunch of noise. But aside from that, absolutely stunning day. So check out the trunk space. This is just so awesome. You know, you have a bunch of trunk space, a 5.0 liter V8. This is my backpack for reference, right, with all my camera gear. So I mean, that's a backpack and you just have it in the corner there. I have my tripod right here, right? So tons of space, and then a Hydro Flask water bottle. Lots of space here in the back of the IS500, and then you have your spare and everything right under there. Now the last glorious bits that I just want to show you guys before we drive it, right, is just this V8. So car is on right now. Hello, beautiful. Man, so nice, dude. So they stuffed this 5.0 V8 into this Lexus. Again, they bulged up the hood a little bit for it. And if I'm not mistaken, you guys can watch Savage Geese's videos, because Savage Geese's videos are very incredible of this car. I love every time they do a video on the 5.0 from Lexus. But I believe the subframe underneath this car is a little bit wider. So these fenders and hips are just a little bit wider than the normal IS models that aren't the 5.0 V8. So the IS500 is the only one with that, and then you have the other models under it with the V6 and then the inline fours. But here is a good look at our nice 5.0 V8, man. Can't wait to see what Lexus comes out with in the future. There is talk about them doing a twin turbo V8. We'll talk about that a little bit more maybe when it comes out, because I don't know, man, like that would be insane if they do that. But let's go ahead and drive it now. So guys, driving the Lexus IS500 makes me hate where I live. The reason for that is we don't have crazy stretches of highway. We don't have beautiful canyon or carving roads like I did out when I lived out west. It's just very trafficy. And the speed limits here are like top at 55 to 65. And even this road that I'm on right now, it's 30. And like, I'm immediately there with this car. This car is so punchy. It has so much good grunt, good horsepower, good torque, linear, because it's beautifully naturally aspirated. And it's just a really, really fun freaking car to drive, man. I mean, speed limit, like over the speed limit by 5 miles an hour. So, I mean, this car, I didn't show a lot of like walk around and interior of it in this video just because it's a Lexus IS that is relatively older. They're going to be remodeling it soon, but you're buying this car right now to keep that V8, that 5.0 V8, to just have good quality Lexus driving experience. And honestly, this isn't like a daily car, even though I'm averaging 21 miles per gallon, and that's like playing around with it. This car is like you have extra money and you want like a good date night car, you want a fun like little weekend car. But we're gonna go ahead and put this into Sport Plus now. Steering wheel gets a little tighter. I love it when everything just opens up with that air box, but again, already over the speed limit. It's a fun, good car, man. I have nothing but trucks in my driveway. The 4Runner, the Tacoma, the Tundra, lifted. Not the most comfortable, they still are very comfortable, but having this Lexus, me and my wife, we wanted to drive it all the time, man. We put probably 400 miles or so on this car, maybe close to like 350. And I say like you're buying this car, and that goes against everything that I just said about that you're buying this car for like not it to be a daily. But I guess it just depends on your garage, because our garage is just full of trucks and everything. So I mean, so our garage is just full of trucks and everything, and it was just nice to be in a car. Like if you had to go to the grocery store, get in the car, it's super convenient. I don't know, like I do really, really like the V8 in this car. It's fun. I know that there is like I do know that there is like an aftermarket scene for it, the car community scene for it. But even though the V8 is really good, for some reason, and I don't know if it's just because like I'm used to turbos now with driving my Tundra all the time, but I was missing like just the turbo whistle. For some reason, I was missing it. So guys, final impressions of the Lexus IS500. Right now, it's great. It's an awesome car, but in 10 to 15 years from now, this car is gonna be an incredible car. The reason, this thing brand new right now with all these options and stuff on it is still at about $65,000. Now, Lexuses don't depreciate a whole lot. Toyotas don't depreciate a whole lot, but the reliability, the bulletproof 5.0, and then when these things start getting 80, 90,000 miles on them and you could scoop them up for maybe 30 grand, that's half off, dude. You still have a crap ton of life left in this engine. It's decently modern, but still old school to where in 10, 15 years, it's not gonna feel overly outdated on the inside because it's still pretty raw. It's gonna be a great car. I mean, I would want one right now, right? It's just not in the cards, unfortunately, for me and my family. But if I had the extra coin, like I said, definitely would have either this or the RCF. I really like the RCF, but definitely have it as like a date night vehicle, quick little zip vehicle to go to the store if you want, or a good like GT kind of road trip vehicle. That would be fun as well. But guys, I appreciate you all watching as always. I know that this is a little bit different than the truck content, but it's badass, right? All right, guys, I'll catch you all in the next one. All right, see you later.